out to the right, breaks a tackle. They blitz it. Prescott throws it down the right side for Lamb. Caught it! Back to throw, rush, sacked by Parsons.
Belt-tie snap. Prescott with plenty of time. Lobs it end zone. Jake Ferguson.
Happy Father's Day and welcome to a Father's Day edition of The Blitz. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison. And yes, Father Time has caught up to us one more time as this is the final edition of The Blitz of the 2024 offseason. But that means training camp is right around the corner, Nicole.
Time has gone by really fast, Bill. I mean, we leave for training camp in, like 4 or 6 weeks? I mean, I'm excited for these training camp battles. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys go out and show out.
You mentioned training camp battles, and on this edition of The Blitz, Nick Harris will join us, and we'll take a look at some of the key training camp battles to look forward to in Oxnard. But you recall this time of the year, last year and the year before, the Cowboys have signed players out of the USFL, and there are 4 roster spots still open on this team. And oddly enough, there were 4 players from the UFL who are in for tryouts this past week. Some notable names on there, a couple of cornerbacks and a couple of linebackers. And remember, UFL players from the Spring League can start signing contracts with NFL teams this coming week.
Yeah, Spring Leagues have obviously been a solid pipeline for the NFL. Just a lot of talent, a lot of hidden gems when you talk about the talent. But when you see the guys that the Cowboys brought in, I mean, you look at the linebacker position, of course, depth was a problem. Injuries were a huge issue for the Cowboys in 2023. But Willie Harvey, a former undrafted free agent in 2019, he spent some time with the Cleveland Browns. But he also is a guy that led the UFL in tackles with 78, also led all linebackers in the UFL in tackles for loss. I think he'd be a good guy who has that NFL experience and a guy that just would bring some sort of usage in that linebacker room when you talk about that.
2 cornerbacks on that list, Garyon Conley as well as DeAndre Baker, are former first-round draft picks in the NFL, so they got a lot of talent, and now they're up there in years a little bit. You know, you look at the rookies, though, and how about this draft class in particular as you assess the depth chart for the Cowboys? How important is it going to be for the rookies in this class to play notable roles on this team this year and step up?
It's important. I mean, that's something that Jerry Jones has made it very clear this offseason, that there's a lot of pressure on those guys to step up. I mean, when you look at the 2023 draft class, you didn't see much from them, didn't get a lot of production, unless it was TJ Bass, who was an undrafted guy. But, I mean, there's a lot of pressure, but I think that these guys know it. They carry themselves like they know that what the pressure is, and I think they're ready for it.
Of course, Tyler Guyton, the first-round draft pick, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on him to perform, as there are big-time replacements that need to be made on that offensive line. All right, we're just getting started on this edition of The Blitz. When we come back, it's contract time. No, wait, it's been contract time for a while. When are these contracts going to get done when we get back?
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, is brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. And by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
That's all I know. 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 That's all I
It is so fun watching C.D. Lamb on a football field, and I think absence makes the heart grow fonder. And of course, C.D. Lamb has been absent throughout the offseason here at the Star in Frisco. As we welcome you back to the Blitz, Bill Jones with Nicole Hutchison. Training camp is right around the corner.
Yeah. Will
C.D. Lamb be there? Time to talk contract, okay? It's been past time. I know a lot of you think that past time to talk contract, but you look at the negotiations at training camp last year. Remember right when camp opened, Trayvon Diggs signed his deal. You had Malik Hooker who signed his deal. Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. Work gets done come training camp. It's not just football season, it's contract season at training camp.
Yeah, and I think that, these players know that eventually these contracts are going to get done, but I think that, CeeDee Lamb definitely deserves this new pay raise for him. I mean, you look at what he did last year, led the NFL in catches, second in receiving yards, third in receiving touchdowns, that single season Cowboys record. I mean, you've got to pay him, and especially when we talk about it all the time. Jerry Jones talking about the leaves falling. You saw the leaves fall with Justin Jefferson. You saw the leaves fall with Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions. A.J. Brown getting a $96 million deal over 3 years. I mean, you've got to pay this guy. And I think that, there's so many questions about whether or not he'll perform post he gets the contract. Well, I mean, he asked for the ball in week 5 against the 49ers, and you saw what he did. You asked him to step up after getting rid of Amari Cooper. He stepped up. I mean, this guy definitely deserves it.
Yeah, you have to think something's going to get done early on. Yeah. It may be like the Trayvon Diggs deal, because most all the leaves have fallen off that wide receiver tree right now. Okay, and then you get to the bigger contract, and that would be the quarterback's contract. Dak Prescott going into his last year on his deal, and it's a deal that both sides want to get done. The question is when.
Ooh, another question is, a guy who certainly deserves it. You just don't want Dak Prescott to go through 2024 and have a season like he did like in 2023, or an even better season. And now you're facing the fact that he'll have to test the market out and things like that, or just get more expensive. That's something you definitely do not want to see if you're the Dallas Cowboys.
And of course, you need both sides to want to do the deal in order for the deal to get done. And that brings us to Micah Parsons. Should the Cowboys go ahead and get a deal done with Micah before the price gets higher?
Well,
Micah's got to want to do it too.
He's got to want to do it. But right now he only makes up 2.13% of the cap hit, so not really much right now. I think that you've got to focus on the guys that need to get paid immediately. That's CeeDee Lamb, that's Dak Prescott, and then of course, I guess the leaves will fall, and hopefully Michael Parsons can be one of those leaves.
Well, and the other thing is, can you sign that many players to that big a contract? You see it elsewhere around the league that it's being done, but that makes the training camp battles that more important, because young players have to step up. And when we come back here on the Blitz, we'll take a look at those top training camp battles and who's going to battle Mozzie Smith in the middle of that Dallas defense.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Blitz continues now. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison, and we are joined by Nick Harris of DallasCowboys.com. It's time to break down some of those training camp battles we will be looking forward to seeing in Oxnard, California, which of course training camp getting here before you know it. How about we start in the trenches on the defensive line, what they call in the coaching profession that one technique or a nose tackle. What are you looking for there?
Yeah, absolutely. These battles, they're coming. I'm excited to get out to Oxnard and see what's going to be going on. But we start with that one tech position. Jonathan Hankins departs. He heads to Seattle, follows defensive line coach Aiden Dirty, who is now the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. And that leaves a hole right there in the middle of that defensive interior. Now the Cowboys, they drafted Mozzie Smith in 2023 in the first round. Didn't necessarily get the results they expected out of his rookie season, but is there a development train that he can take into year 2? He is coming off of off-season shoulder surgery, so he'll have to be able to overcome that, but you would have to think he's in the driver's seat to take that position just given the value that has been put into Smith. But you also look at the other guys in the room that are also capable. Justin Rogers, they used a 7th-round pick on him out of Auburn to bring him in the building. Denzel Daxon, who was a starting defensive tackle for a very good Illinois defensive line last year in the Big Ten. He's another guy that'll factor into the equation. And then veteran Carl Davis, who stepped in whenever Jonathan Hankins went down with an injury in a couple of games last season. So you have all 4 of these guys coming together for a very intense battle in Oxnard. Oxnard.
And staying in the trenches on the offensive side of the ball, though, how do you see that battle playing out? You see, obviously, in minicamp and OTAs, Cooper Beebe kind of getting a little bit of first-team reps a little bit, but you also have Brock Hoffman, who's ready to take that starting position battle as well.
Yeah, this center one I think is going to be the most fun because you look at all three of those guys, and they have actually grown a close friendship. So these are close friends that are going to be competing for this position, but they are taking that competition very seriously. The friendship's not going to get in the way of them not trying to win that position. You look at Brock Hoffman, he was the backup to Tyler Biadasz last year. He has been in this building every single day, weight room, offside positional training, trying to win that battle whenever they do get out to Oxnard. But they spent that third-round pick on Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. Granted, he was a guard in college. They want to slide him in, use him at center. He does have the cerebral makeup to be able to do that. And then you also have TJ Bass, who in my opinion was the best rookie in the rookie class from 2023. Him also getting some center reps this offseason. That's going to be a really fun battle. I think whoever comes out as the cream of the crop, I think it'll be more than willing to take on those challenges.
All right, so those are a couple of battles on both fronts, on offense and on defense. How about at running back? We're first going to set this up by bringing back Zeke Elliott, the number 4 pick in the draft in 2016. Let's hear what Zeke has to say.
I mean, we got 8 backs right now, so plenty of depth. But we got a lot of guys, a lot of good young players that bring a lot of, good things to the table. And, I'm excited to get to work with them in camp and, continue to help them develop.
What kind of things do you give to them and have been giving to them?
8 years, however many carries, however many reps, however many blitz pickups, just the experience. I've seen just about everything. Just give them a little bit of my experience and, any tidbit or nugget that could help them with their game.
He's got 8 years of experience, and as Zeke mentioned right off the top there, about 8 guys in that running back room, but he's the only one along with, you got Royce Freeman and Rico Dowdle with some experience in the league. How do you think things are shaping up at running back?
Yeah, we keep hearing running back by committee. That's probably going to have to be the approach coming out of training camp. I think whenever we do leave Oxnard, that's going to be the biggest question mark on this team is how can this running back room contribute on a bigger scale than they did a season ago with Tony Pollard in the building, Rico Dowdle kind of being his complement. But I think this time around it's going to be Ezekiel Elliott being that frontline guy who takes those short yardage opportunities, maybe even those first down and second down opportunities on the early downs, but who kind of comes after him and takes the load off whenever he does need to come off the field? Is that Royce Freeman, the veteran, or do they want a little bit more juice in a guy like Deuce Vaughn or Rico Dowdle? I think whenever you look behind Ezekiel Elliott, that entire room has a really good opportunity, but it's just going to be whoever shines during the preseason and shines in Oxnard.
And you talk about that quarterback battle as well, the backup depth as well. Cooper Rush, and you have quarterback Trey Lance. He obviously has not played a lot of snaps in the NFL, but how do you see that quarterback battle playing out?
Yeah, that one's going to be really interesting. Stephen Jones talked about it earlier in the offseason, saying there will be a QB2 battle in Oxnard. They went and spent a 4th-round pick, or traded a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance after training camp last season. They wanted to see what he could be like under a year of development in the Mike McCarthy system. Now he's had that. How will that come to fruition whenever they get out to California? But then you also have Cooper Rush, who's not going to give up that job too easily. He's 4-1 as a starter. He has shown to be capable whenever Dak Prescott has gone down with injury to be able to step in and be that starter that can kind of keep the offense going. But can Trey Lance maybe elevate that competition a little bit more? That'll be really interesting to see. You look at the starts that Trey Lance has. Yes, he has 4 starts. 2 of them he looked really good. The 3rd one came in a monsoon, and then the 4th one he got hurt on the first drive. So we haven't really seen what Trey Lance can do from a starting perspective in the NFL. We're going to see it in the preseason, though.
And that's why you need to watch all the preseason games because Trey Lance is going to get a lot of playing time. Nick Harris, we appreciate it. Enjoy your time off before heading out to Oxnard. And when we come back in a moment here on The Blitz, Wanye Thomas. Yes, he is becoming a primary player that Mike Zimmer will call upon on that Dallas defense.
This segment was brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Bill Jones with Nicole Hutchison as the Blitz continues. You know, when Mike Zimmer came in here this offseason, took a look at the depth chart for the Cowboys at the safety position. I think he likes what he sees what the Cowboys have there, and I think he'll like what he sees in the guy you're about to hear from, and that's Wanye Thomas.
Yeah, Wanye. I mean, he spent 2022, his rookie season, on the practice squad, looking for an opportunity, you know, really just spending that time developing. 2023, though, DQ, Dan Quinn, and Mike McCarthy leaned on him, and he was obviously one of the best defenses in the NFL, and now the expectations are a little bit higher for him going into year 3, and I believe he's ready for it. All right, Wanye, you are heading into your final year of your contract, year 3 for you, and when I talked to head coach Mike McCarthy in the press conference, I got a chance to ask him about, you know, how much he's looking forward to you to continue to build off that jump that you took in year 2, but how would you describe the opportunity that you have in year 3?
I have the chance to really expand my role and touch up on things I really didn't get right last year. So having the opportunity to head into my 3rd year and then the chance just to really up my role and show them what I can do in year 3 for real.
When you talk about expanding your role, DQ used a 3-safety system, 3 safeties on the field, and that's something that Mike Zimmer does as well. How do you kind of, I guess, see your role changing, if you do see it changing at all?
I mean, it's kind of similar in a way. I'm just curious to see going into camp, to see where I'm gonna be at, how everything's gonna play out with the new scheme. It's gonna be a lot of ops for a lot of people. So you know what I'm saying, and I want to be one of those guys. So I'm just curious to see for.
Talk about that deep safety room with Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell returning at safety. I mean, how much of an opportunity is this for you?
Man, at the end of the day, it's a blessing to be behind those guys and learning from them, but at the same time we're competing for the same thing. But at the end of the day, the main goal for everybody is to win a Super Bowl. So you feel what I'm saying? So it's a blessing to have guys in the room like that.
You got a chance to really display your versatility last year, playing deep, also playing close to the line of scrimmage in the box. How much do you feel like that kind of benefits you heading into this year?
I think it benefits me well because I showed last year I can play every spot. I played corner, I played nickel, I played safety, I played backer. So you know what I'm saying, just really showing the coaches and showing everybody my versatility really to be able to play down, back, guarding everybody. So you feel what I'm saying. So I think that'll be something to help benefit me in the long run too. So
looking back at the 2023 film, what was something that you made an emphasis this offseason to really help elevate your game?
Communication. I would say that, and being way more confident and just being really the quarterback of the defense, because as safeties you have to talk. So I feel like just talking really is one of the biggest things for every team. If you don't talk, you're gonna lose. So you feel me? So
how has it been learning this new system and just kind of getting adjusted to Mike Zimmer as your new defensive coordinator?
Zimmer has been making it easy for real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously he's been throwing a lot at us, but that's normal. Yeah, it's part of the game because we're learning a new system. But Zimmer has been awesome, helping us, having a lot of walkthroughs, just coming into meetings, just telling us what we need to work on, because he understands that it's new and everybody's not gonna get it, you know what I'm saying, in one day. So Zim's been awesome helping us learn it. So
yeah, Wanye only had 1 start in 2023, played in all 16 games, 190 snaps. Defensively, 315 snaps on special teams, but look for that snap count to go up defensively. It's not starting. I got my eyes on Wanye Thomas. I think he's going to do really well in 2024.
I think Mike Zimmer likes him, and
Yeah.
I know John Fossil
For
loves
sure.
him on special teams as well.
Yes.
All right, coming up in just a moment, we wrap up this edition of The Blitz. Some key training camp dates to remember.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, was brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
It's the final minute or so of the final organized team activity of the offseason. That, of course, is this show, The Blitz. We're looking ahead at training camp, and these are the key training camp dates you need to keep in mind as the team will arrive in Oxnard on July 23rd. The opening ceremony, Saturday, July 27th, that blue-white practice on August 3rd. You see the preseason games. And Nicole, I know you can't wait to get out to Oxnard for the first time.
Yes, I'm so excited. I know I've talked to with a lot of the staff members and just about the experience that they've had at training camp, and fans come there. They treat it like their Super Bowl. So I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun just to see how the players really mix and mingle with each other. I know we've got to see them a little bit in OTAs, but not so much. So it'll be really fun. I'm excited. I'm looking forward.
The Cowboys are going to be out there a little bit longer this year. It's basically a full month they're going to be out there, and so it's going to be fun. Schedule your vacation around it. For Nicole Hutchison, I'm Bill Jones. We hope you're having a great Father's Day weekend, and we will see you next from Oxnard, California, Training Camp 2024. Thanks for joining us here on The Blitz.